Hello there, I'm Scontulus, and this is Teppen Quick Take, where we give a deck one shot and see what it do. Today we are playing one of the most infamous strategies in Teppen, Big BOOBA Resonate. Big Resonate. Most people moved on from this deck after the hookshot nerf, and especially after the halt changes, but by digging deeper into the card pool, this deck can be just as toxic as it ever was. To reach maximum toxicity and stall while we charge MP, we are playing Dante Devil Trigger, which protects us for 10 seconds, equal to 3 MP, and has specific synergy with the coolest new card from Defying the Light, the Devil Awakens. This lets us charge just about as much MP as it costs, or slightly more if we cast it with blue MP, and will make the heart of our deck, hsien-ko, nigh invincible. You definitely want to be maxed out on this card to beat red, to cycle, and to survive once you stick your ko, who is our entire deck. Just getting ko on board is all we need to do to win, because she does exactly one thing better than any other card, which is having huge stats. We also play one Devil Hunter Dante, who is not a substitute for our big demon, but is the perfect follow-up. Our last unit is Maggie Bird, to help us stall out while we find hsien-ko, and to give us the evidence we need for Midnight Encounter. Midnight Encounter is just unnerfed hookshot with upside until AVP rotates, so that's how long you have to play the deck as it is. You can also use Encounter without evidence on Dante to turn his 8-hit clock into 6 hits. Either this card or the even stronger Devil Trigger are usually necessary to actually swing for game with our large waifu. We are also maxed out on Unforeseen Interference, so that we are ready to negate disarms as soon as possible. You always want to play your cards so that you have either 3 or 4 MP in action phase for this and the Devil Awakens. And we have 1 Severance from the Past to dodge Brainwashed. Searching Maverick Hunter off of it basically guarantees victory on either ko or Dante. Everything else that we play is to resonate and to cycle while we find ko. Letter for Lottie is just to get an action out of our deck. The memory effect never really comes up, so if you don't have the card, just swap it for Reignited Malice or Sleep. The same goes for Cyclock and Time Distorted. They're the best 1 MP cycles and nothing really more. Fruitless Investigation is a little more important to occasionally protect ko and to give us just barely 4 MP for the Devil Awakens. If you don't have this one, you can just play Resurrect or Wild Resistance instead, but while Chun is still running around, Investigation is pretty important. Last of all, we have Natural Fanatic, which is just a blank card to cycle, and 3 Foresight to find the waifu. Here's the deck QR for you, and with all that said, let's do this! Alright, this time we are up against the ultimate deck for Chun-Li, hsien-ko. Hopefully they don't beat us in the race to 30 damage. We draw the perfect hand, which is anything that has hsien-ko, and we'll charge up so we have an excess of MP for her. Our opponent starts things off with Nibblesnarf pulling Mia Fey and playing Rico in the top lane. We'll play Maggie Bird across from their Nibblesnarf, and we will play hsien-ko in the middle lane. We will activate Foresight, buffing up hsien-ko, drawing the Devil Awakens to our EX, and our opponent ascends another Mia Fey, buffing up their middle one, which forces us to buff hsien-ko again using Resurrect, which is the card I cut for Natural Fanatic. Right before hsien-ko would be defeated, we'll use Fruitless Investigation to stun Mia, and our opponent ascends Chun-Li, giving them the exact AP for hsien-ko. We will try to stun Chun as well with Fruitless Investigation, but stay close will put us in a very dangerous spot. Thankfully, we do have Devil Awakens, but it's much less value while hsien-ko is stunned. Our opponent activates Ragtime, thankfully getting mostly HP, and our hsien-ko will be able to tank a couple hits while she's invincible. We'll activate Devil Trigger, which choreographs our Devil Awakens, and we will try to bait out the blue MP with Foresight. Our opponent does respond with the only escape twice, but neither of them will actually change the math, even if we didn't Devil Awaken. hsien-ko will defeat their Chun-Li and get in for a massive 17 damage, and our opponent will play another Rico, which can take 2 hits from hsien-ko. We will activate Time Distorted, and our opponent will respond with Wall Jump, which lets us use Resurrect, and they will use Silent Guardian, putting a couple cards back. At this point, we use Reignited Malice, which is the card I cut for Dante, getting back a copy of Devil Awakened, slightly discounted, and we will activate another Devil Trigger to protect us while we charge our MP. We will activate Letter for Lottie to try and find our Flight action, which we finally find, and we'll activate it, buffing up hsien-ko to 30. We just need to get in, and our opponent will try to stop us with their last card, but we can negate it, stopping the evasive and getting in for lethal. Here we are again, and it's big! What else is there to say? This deck is just as good as it's ever been, despite people no longer really playing it, which gives it that surprise factor. The deck even has surprisingly good matchups, only really losing to Big Green if you don't draw Devil Awakens, and to Black. They have a lot of ways to deal with Ko, with Titanic, Turn 1 Devil Joe, and Sharing Memories, all basically losing you the game. Despite that, when I play this deck, I usually gain rank, even with the inconsistency, which is surprisingly not that bad with all of the cycle cards. The true home for this deck, though, is definitely in a tournament setting. If I catch any of you in the next TCS, you better be ready to beat me on this deck. The deck is super funny, it trolls the heck out of meta players, and it's really easy. The only real skill is learning not to overspend your mana, so you can potentially charge up for a second Ko if you need to. And that's it, this deck plays itself. Any of you who have been missing the classic Big Resonate, it hasn't gone anywhere. You can still play this for about one more month. I just hope they give us another Flight action when AVP rotates. The deck is also really budget if you replace a few of the legendaries, so there's no excuse not to try it out if you want to make some people rage quit. Thank you all again for watching. Please like the video if you liked the video, subscribe if you subscribed. Once again, I'm Scontulus, and I'll see you in the next one.